Today's video, we're going to talk about Facebook agency ad accounts. If you know what those are, this will be a key video for you to watch. And if you don't know what they are, you should know what they are. So you should watch this video anyway, that are for sale or for rent. So there's a lot of people out there looking for a Facebook agency account and they're getting scammed. I'm going to tell you how not to get scammed, what you should really do to seek one out, and then what it's actually going to help you do if you aren't into Facebook agency ad accounts yet, and where specifically it's going to help you and where it's not going to help you, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about Facebook agency accounts that, really it doesn't do. So as somebody who runs an ad agency, runs a lot of Facebook ads, has used these accounts, I can tell you the good and the bad about this and how not to get ripped off if you're contemplating using it and where you should be using it. Before I get into the content though and share all those things with you, if you do not know who I am yet, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients management fees until we can give them a certain minimum lift in the profitability up front, basically in excess of our management fee. We are the only agency out there who does anything like this, which should tell you something about the quality of the information that you're receiving on this video. So with that said, getting into the content. If you're a larger business who does not need profit right away, let's say you have a startup, a hot startup, you just got $20 million worth of funding, you need to get an ad campaign going quickly, raise your revenue quickly to outpace the competition, and to speed run your way into the next round of funding. In that situation, you're not going to be, satisfied with starting out low and slow on Facebook. So an agency account will actually be what you want there because you just want to run ads quickly. Of course, an agency account is going to help you run an unmetered campaign, any spend right away from day one. And in those situations with the startup, and the reason why I brought that up specifically is because usually when you speed run a startup, that is grow it quickly like that, you don't need profitability right away. All you want to do is just dump a bunch of cash into ad spend. Hopefully you can make money with your ads, but even if you don't, it's fine because you need to gather data and you got to gather it quickly and you'll figure it all out once you've spent some money on how to make money from your ads. At the beginning, you just need to dump a ton of money into ad spend so you can get some data quickly so you can move quickly. That's a perfect time or situation where an agency account will help you, be worth seeking out on your own, even though you'll have to pay extra money to run your ad spend through it. The other situation would be when you just got banned with your Facebook ad account. So it used to be a few years ago, you could get your account banned by breathing on it wrong. I mean, literally, Facebook, you'd wake up one day, you weren't doing anything wrong or out of the ordinary, poof, the account is gone, to the point where people would start up 2, 3, 4, 5 backup accounts just so they would have accounts going while another account was getting shut down. It was like a game of, like a conveyor belt of accounts that they would have. And I talked about it on this channel about how you should have backup accounts. Thankfully, Facebook's pulled their head out of their ass and stopped doing this because all they were going to do is keep dropping their revenue. They've worked so hard to get people to spend more, but they're shutting down accounts at the same time. It didn't make any sense, which for the most part, the reason for that is they're using AI to weed out fraud, and AI said it, and they had to start going back with a manual approach, which actually caused them to really ferret out the fraud and keep the accounts that weren't fraud going. So with that said though, you ultimately, still to this day, you can get your account shut down accidentally, and if that happens, and you were spending $1,000 a day in ad spend already, and you got shut down, it's going to take you 6 months to a year to build up to that $1,000 a day again. I've talked about this on other videos, how with Facebook, each level of increase in spend, your account goes through a different level of review. Initially, it's automated reviews. Then eventually you're going to get to like Indians reviewing it. And then eventually it's going to be Americans reviewing it that are outsourced partners. And then eventually it's going to be people inside America at the Facebook headquarters reviewing it. And because your account's more of a threat, so-called, to their community at higher levels of spend. When you're spending $100,000 a day on ad spend, you're going to influence a lot of people one way or another. They want to make sure those type of people are well monitored because they don't want anybody getting in the wrong ideas, maybe just, deciding to, rebel against the government, whatever, which is the main reason why it really is there. I mean, to be honest, to put a muzzle on people so that people with money don't have that much power. With that said, ultimately, so you could actually start up slow, start with your $10 a day, then $50 a day, then $100 a day, and slowly ratchet it up, knowing each time that, especially if you're in a gray area niche, each time you hit another level of review, it might get your ad suspended for a while, then you've got to make corrections and whatnot. It could take a long time. And for that matter, you may have to run your ads at a loss for a while. Like what a lot of guys are doing is they're running the $1,000 a day campaign that they're running. They actually were running a more aggressive ad than they were when they were starting out, when they had to go through all those hurdles and levels of review. So in other words, what you could do later on with the proven account is not what you can do with a brand new account in terms of how edgy your ad copy can be. You can flirt with, kind of like, with the rules a little bit, not violate, but flirt with, doing stuff that's borderline what you're not supposed to do. So you have to basically run your ads at a loss for a while with the milder ad copy to build up to the $1,000 a day, then run the little bit more aggressive ad copy. So really you're investing a lot of money up front into your account to season it so that you can run the aggressive ad copy at $1,000 a day, and then all that you get your return back on all your initial investment when you get up to $1,000 a day. So if you don't want to go through all that, you can have an agency account and get through all that a lot quicker, which is what people are using them for mostly. You get shut down, you don't want to go season the account again, you just go with an agency account. And then you have to pay for that, but it's worth it in a lot of cases, especially like in the situation where I just described, where you can't do what you want to do with the new account that you can do with a seasoned account. That is in terms of ad copy and so forth. So with that said, okay, the main benefits of a Facebook agency account, which you have to get through a Facebook partnered agency itself, is if you get suspended, you'll get reapproved quicker. So in the case that Facebook does some automation in their ad review process and their account review process to make sure people are following their rules, and sometimes you could still, even though it's much better than before, get swept up in the dragnet of that, and your account could get shut down. And if it gets shut down and you weren't actually violating any rules, at least now, for the most part, you can get in touch with support and get it fixed, but not without it taking sometimes a week to 2 weeks to get back online. And if you were making $1,000 of profit a day, now you've just lost $8,000 worth of profit, $10,000 worth of profit, just vaporized because you got caught up in this artificial dragnet and it took a long time to get back to you, support to get back to you. Whereas if you have an agency account, they can get back to you in 1 to 3 days, and so you don't have that. And it's not a matter of if it will get suspended, it's a matter of when. If you're going to run this for years, that's part of just being on Facebook. So that is one benefit of a Facebook agency account that you have with it. So second of all is no spending limit. Your spending is now limited out the gate. And I talked about this briefly already, but basically if you want to spend $10,000 a day, day one, you could do it through a partnered Facebook agency account, which you get through a partnered Facebook agency, of which they're going to basically whore out to you that you can use for your own purposes. Now, that said, what is the cost of these accounts? If you're wondering or contemplating with the information I just gave you to run them, to use them, and that is, you're going to be paying somewhere between probably 5 to 15% of your ad spend to the agency who leased the account to you in order to be able to have the privilege of using it. And then with that, there's usually two ways to go with it. You either give the agency your ad copy and they'll put it in your account for you, or they're going to give you access to your account directly that you could access it, do all the work yourself inside that account. And basically you're paying them for the lease, for the ability to use that agency account that has special status with Facebook. So as it comes to Facebook agency accounts and most people talking about it, what they really want is just the account itself. They don't want the Facebook agencies running their ads, because I can tell you from personal experience being in the ad management industry, 9 out of 10 agencies, I don't care if they're big agencies, small, they suck and they can't get a good return. So if you're really going to make a lot of money on Facebook, you either have to get lucky finding the one that actually has people that know what they're doing, that is the strategists that plan the campaigns, that actually know what they're doing, and that, which they're hard to find, and there's not very many of them, and you have to pay them a load of money, or you have to do this damn shit yourself and figure out the copy and the offers and everything that works for yourself, and then, manage it yourself. That's how it works. People that have never hired an agency before don't realize this. I can tell you from personal experience at our agency, the average person's hired at least 2, 3, 4 agencies before they get to us, because they don't understand what a guarantee is for in PPC. We all think it's easy the first time we try it, and then you find out the hard way like everybody else has to. Anyway, with that said, that may sound like a lot of money just to get access to an agency account which if you took your new account that's not an agency account and you seasoned it yourself, you're not paying 10% on your ad spend. And, when you're spending $1,000 a day, that's, $3,000 a month that you're paying to the agency for nothing, for just use of the account that you wouldn't pay if you seasoned your own account. But for the most part, it's still going to be worth it because the cost and time it's going to take to ramp up if you got a winning campaign is going to be, you're going to lose so much in terms of loss of opportunity there. It's worth it to pay the 10% once, like as soon, because you can get your campaigns launched immediately to the level of ad spend that you want. And for that matter, it's 5 to 15%. You can certainly negotiate with the agency that you're working with, so you could pay 5%. I would encourage you to do this. Normally, ad agencies, they'll charge 10, 15% of ad spend. That's baked into that equation is they have to help you manage your ads. So if you're managing your own ads yourself, they don't have to do anything. Most agency owners are gonna agree. They'll take 5%. You manage your own account. As long as you are paying us 5%, we'll take it because it's all pure profit. There's no overhead leasing account to you. Of course, it's still a risk to them, which is why they still have to charge 5% instead of 1% or 2%. That could actually affect their partner status with Facebook in some regard. Probably not with one account, but their name is on the line, letting you advertise what you're advertising. And then with that, by the way, they're not going to let you just advertise any, scams, making unrealistic claims on your ad copy and so on and so forth. So, and if you're in a fringe area, it may be tough to find one that'll do it. Or you may have to pay a higher percentage of them for being in a fringe category. Like, you're dealing with crypto, but it's, having to do with like crypto loans. So it's not technically tied to crypto, but crypto's not basically allowed. So you could get caught up in the review system easily on accident. And that can affect their partner status. Therefore, they're going to want 20% on your ad spend, not 5%. It's just like a credit card merchant account. There's high risk merchant accounts that deal with industries that are high risk. Like, let's say you're pimping out escorts or you're selling pornography, weird, nasty pornography, whatever. There's merchant account providers out there that'll take your business. They'll just charge you completely, rape you in terms of the fees. And so instead of paying the normal 2-3%, you're going to be paying 10% or 12% or 15% in some cases, just to be able to find a merchant that'll take you on. And that's like this. They know nobody else will take you on. And so they're going to want 25% of your ad spend itself to take the risk of and potential problems of dealing with you. Also potentially with your ad account getting shut down. And so they spend all this time allow you on and then, it just didn't last very long, because Facebook shut them down or what have you. For the most part, most people are not going to want to touch anything that's even close to gray. There are some people that will do it. If you want to know an agency that'll do it, you can always ask me in the comment section. I can point you in the general direction you want to go. Most of the companies don't want to, it's not worth the risk, basically. And if you are going to pay, you're going to pay a lot of money. You're better off just running your own account if you're in a gray area like that, because you're going to ask a lot of agencies to find, one that'll do it. And for that matter, if you want to now find an agency that's going to actually help you get access to an agency account, what I can tell you right up front is there's a bunch of scam artists out there that are selling agency accounts. Like if you go to Google and type in Facebook agency account for rent or for sale, 98% of what you see is going to be scams. You have to go to an actual agency to get access to an agency account. But people don't want to work with an agency. They just want the account, which is why they're going to fall for going with these third-party brokers that are just basically scamming you. So you want to go directly to the agency. And unfortunately, the agency is going to want you to have a certain minimum amount of ad spend in order to have you take them on, or for them to take you on. Certainly not less than $100 a day and probably closer to $1,000 a day itself. But on the flip side, it doesn't make any sense to use an agency account unless you are spending $1,000 a day, because you could easily spend $100 a day in a brand spanking new account fairly quickly, like within 30 days or something like that. Work with an agency directly, or you're likely just going to get scammed. You definitely know you're going to get scammed by a third-party agency, a third-party broker of accounts, agency accounts, if they're asking you to take payment through crypto, which should be obvious, or outside normal payment means. Normally what agencies will do will want you to wire them the money so they're not paying a percentage on the money that you're sending them, because if you're giving them 5% and they're paying 3% in terms of credit card processing, their effective return is 2% on ad spend, and they're not going to give up half their profit just so that you could pay them with a credit card. So it's going to be bank wire. The typical legit agencies, it's going to be wire itself. And then also, the other tip I would give you is you could actually make sure they could show you your account before you actually send your first deposit in. And your first deposit can be a smaller amount. Don't send more than $5,000 to your agency at the first time. And even before then, say, I want to see through a Zoom call or something like this, you got an agency account and that I can see it. Like that'll also help mitigate getting scammed to some minimal regard, but something else you can do. For the most part though, you just want to know you're not going to get scammed. You want to deal with the partner agency. And Facebook has if you Google, find Facebook partner agencies, you can find Facebook has a resource where you can search for them by country, for the country that you're going to advertise in. You'll know that you have the right agency. Then you got to contact them and go through the normal means to deal with them, and then ask them about the agency account access and so on and so forth. For the most part, to play the game, I wouldn't just ask for an agency account when you contact them. Say you're legitimately looking to work with them, and then once you finally get into the sales conversation, that's the time when you drop it on them. Hey, look, we just need agency account access. What will you charge us on terms of percentage of spend in order to get access? They'll tell you, you try to negotiate a smaller percentage. Once you tell them that, hey, I don't need any help, I just need the account to run the ads in, and that's it. And then you can get their bottom level price of what they'll charge you percentage wise for access to the actual account, and have them verify they actually do have the ability to leave you alone and just manage your own account itself. What I will say also as well is there is another downside to having these agency accounts, which if you don't season your own accounts, it's their account. For the most part, if it's a big agency that actually has partner status, you don't have to worry about them holding your account hostage. So it's not a big deal. It's a lot bigger deal if, like, for instance, on Google Ads, you don't own your own account. The agency owns it, because it really takes a long time to season a Google Ads account to where you're getting great results with it. The Facebook account, and once you know the offer that works, you could go and take that offer to a new account in 6 months, get most of the results that you would have had with the other account, even though you ran ads in that other account for 10 years already. Whereas with Google, it takes 10 years to get to the 10-year progress you had with the other account. So therefore, and that's why I mentioned here to you that unless you're needing to spend $1,000 a day right away because you know you got a winning offer, and wasting 6 months seasoning an account is going to make you lose $50,000 worth of profit, having to take your time scaling it up. It doesn't make any sense to run everything through their account, because they're going to own your account. So switching to another account will send you backwards for a while, because the algorithm's going to learn how to run ads in that account, and you're going to build history with Facebook in that account. You have an account level history with Facebook, so you get better placement because you have better history with them, versus a new account that's never advertised before. It's harder to get ramped up in terms of, because your history with them is not there. But also they're going to know, of course, about your offer. Not to say that you probably have something that's hard to replicate, but just to mention the obvious, hey, they're going to know what you're running and how it performs. And it's not that hard, like I say with Facebook, to just take another account, run your offer there, and just get into business doing what you're doing if it's easy to copy. Versus a Google, it's not nearly as easy to just copy someone's stuff, because it takes years to get to the same level of performance with the new account that has the same exact ads and everything as the old account. So with that said, if you want to know also, you can guide you through this process. We don't have Facebook partner status because you have to spend $10-20 million a year in Facebook ads in order to do that. And at this particular time, given that we manage more so Google ads here at our agency, just because that's what most people are interested in, and it's just happened over the years, we've gotten more so on the Google ads side of things in terms of what we're managing. We aren't at the partner status level yet. So if you want somebody to guide you through the process to make sure that the company you're dealing with is legit and you don't screw it up, you can of course reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com, and I can talk you and walk you through the process. I also though can tell you how to run a successful ad campaign and get you to the next level with what you're doing, no matter what level you're at. I'm very good at doing this. I can get on a 30-minute coaching call with you and look at your stuff and let you know what to do to get your stuff to the next level in terms of profitability. We also do full management of accounts, not only just on Facebook, but Google. Anything in terms of online ads, we manage it. So, and then we guarantee your results. That is, you're going to get to a certain little level of profitability increase with your ads. Otherwise, we're not going to take a fee at all, which no other agency does. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at my agency at guaranteedppc.com, and we can talk about it. With that said, also as a side, if we've already worked in your niche market before, we can literally sell you the winning ad templates, landing page templates, and so forth that work for your market, and you copy paste those into your ad account, and you can get the same results we're getting or have gotten in another city or country, and not have to go through all the spending the money and the stress and everything it took for us to figure out the ultimate best offers and everything to run for your market. We've worked in over 100 different niche markets before in the last 10 years plus of running this ad firm. So the chances are quite high we've already got you the results you're looking for. It's something to also consider. We have that as well. These templates are so polished most of the time that after running the ads for years in a certain market, you literally could start a whole business around just having the template given. Template is what makes a business. It's the hardest part about getting a business to work is getting the ads to work. You literally build a business around it. With all that said, okay, for the most part, a lot of people don't want to pay agencies because they don't want to pay a percentage of spend or they don't want to pay a management fee. With how quickly everything changes also anymore, it's also helpful to have an agency that's going to help you through the process of all the changes. You can have a campaign working one day, 6 months from now, it's not working anymore because the platform made a change. And when you don't have anybody to ask that has 50 other accounts, they have to also manage and see how those accounts are performing with the change and how to deal with it. And then when they go to deal with your account to deal with the new change, already know what to do because they've already dealt with it with 20 other accounts already. You're always going to be at a forever ongoing predicament with these ad platforms dealing with all the changes, and you're going to be stressing yourself out all the time over nothing. A lot of companies will come to our agency and hire us and then quit after a while once their ads are working, thinking they're going to save that money for a Corvette payment or whatever the hell. And it's just a matter of time before the ads go off the rails because it's not going to manage itself long term. So having an agency account and actually paying the agency for that level of when the shit hits the fan, you got somebody you can call right away versus talking to an ad rep at Facebook that doesn't know anything. It's really worth it for you to do it. It's like having an attorney on retainer when you're doing risky business to begin with. It's not a matter of if you will need them, it's just when. And why wait until it hits the fan already to hire a lawyer, which in this case, it's worse because when the ads change and you're making money from your ads, every day that your ads aren't working, you're losing money. And so you want somebody you can call like that, and they probably already know what to do. Or just avoid it altogether because they see somebody else's account go down because of the change and then fixed it. So with that said, I'm going to say the agency account's worth more certainly than what the benefits I gave you here because you got the agency to help you in shit hits the fan type of scenarios. That said also, if you want to manage your own ads though, the best place to find out all the techniques that work is this channel. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, therefore, you should. I have literally 40 hours a week of experience doing ad strategy at our firm on a few dozen different ad accounts on the various ad platforms, and I share what works and what doesn't work on this channel for free for you to learn from. And which is unique because most of the people running at the mouth on this platform on YouTube don't manage any ads. They run an agency, don't manage ads themselves. Or they just sell courses, they don't manage any ads themselves. Very rarely does somebody actually spend their full-time job just doing ad strategy and then spend their weekends sharing what they're learning to actually have real firsthand knowledge about what really works. So if you want to pay attention to anything and you're serious about making money with ads, you want to pay attention to what is on this channel. You also should check out, if you're going to do that, my blog on my site, which is just as good. You can find that at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog has step-by-step instructions to be able to roll out the strategies we know already work, which come with screenshots and everything you need to use them as well. So if you like what you see on this channel, you should check that out as well. But I'm going to wrap it up with that. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully that made sense for you and it's going to help you get to what you want to do quicker. And I'll see you in the next one.
Remember when I said Facebook ad account was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.